Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I'm gonna tell you about my analysis of moral concern behind Disney animated movie called Stopia. So first, let's go to the meaning of the moral itself. Actually, moral is someone goodness who measured and adjusted with the action that measured by the public and still encompasses the unity of the surrounding environment with a good meaning based on local environment. So actually, this moral have a important things, important role in our life because it's really measured how good our life is in our environment. Actually, moral has two kind. First is goodness and the second is badness. The goodness is the things that we always do in good way in this life. So such the example like helping people that need a help, and give a motivation to other people. And the badness is what we do in a bad way, like killing, like bullying, like stealing or anything else that make other people really didn't like us in our life. So from this bad moral concern, I decided to write a research by focus in this moral concern because I read some article and someone else didn't focus in this moral concern, so I try to write something new about this article. So I have a research question. First is what kind of moral concern that must be aware in this movie, and the second is how Judy and Nick, the main character in this movie, face the bad things that other animals do to them. For the objective of the study, we know kind of moral concern that must be aware in this movie, and the second is we know how Judy and Nick face the bad things that other animals do to them. For the benefit of this study, actually you more learn about moral concern because actually several things of moral value and a little bit moral concern in other research is not tell a lot of moral concern, it just tell about moral value. So I hope that in this research you more know about the moral concern in Zootopia movie. So for previous literature, I have a lot of previous literature, but actually I just want to say one research that I got. So this research have a title with an analysis of moral value in the Zootopia movie. So once again, it's moral value. I got this, because I found that moral concern just a little bit in this article, that in this research. So why I picked this, because I found the important thing about this moral concern, but it's not tell about moral concern itself. It's more focused on moral value, so that's okay. And this research I found that there is two kind of resources. So first is primary and the second is secondary sources. So in primary sources, actually this the writer found from it movie itself and the audio of the movie. So for the secondary source, is from the script and the subtitle that the writer found in internet or anything, or any some research sub other people. So for underlying theories, I choose psychology theories for the base because it's really related to human thought and human emotion and also human behavior. But because is really related to our social life too. So I choose the branches of the psychology theory is a social psychology theory because it's really related to our life too. So yeah, social life, So I pick the branches of psychology theory is social psychology theory. And the theoretical framework across many traits, honesty, compassion, or fairness, and generosity, were most important to liking, respecting, and a little bit understanding. Other moral traits such as purity and wholesomeness were seen as less important. So clearly, morality is important in the interpersonal domain, but it would be interesting to know how morality factor in when evaluating companies or political candidates. So, as long as we still try to fight for human rights, we need to think about moral concern too, because if we think about that too, we will know that, the best thing we must do, like thinking before you talk, or like understanding other people or respecting other people. Because if we didn't know about the moral concern, we sometimes didn't know what we do, what we talk, it seems like we do some bad things, right? So that's why we need to learn moral concern too in our life. So for the research method, I use literally work and associative work. I mix it up into one, and this research actually use qualitative research. That means explain the kind of the moral and anything else about the human behavior or human emotion in this movie and in this research in our social life. For this research, I used several articles and several resources actually that related to my topic and focus in that topic. So the type of data actually, there's two kind of the type of data. First is quantitative and qualitative. So I pick a quantitative a little bit, and in my research, it's the most of it is qualitative. So actually, quantitative is contain of fact data that I can't manipulate it anything about that data. So in qualitative data is explained about what kind of related with about our life, our motivation, or anything else in our social life. So for the third resources, I have two kind. First is primary data and secondary data. So in primary data, I used the movie itself, the Zootopia movie, and actually I used watched this movie 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. I watched the movie 3 times to get more know about the character and what kind of topic that they talk, what kind of the topic of this movie actually. So secondary data is from the movie script. So I searched this movie script and the subtitles, and I collect that, I read that, and I pick the important things that related to my research. So object of study, there is two object of study in my research. First is material object. So the material object is the movie itself, Zootopia movie that produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios and released by Walt Disney Pictures in 2016. So the second is formal object. So this formal object is the relation between the movie story by using social psychology theory by Baron, Bain, and Souls in 1989. So the method of collecting data is I use it some analysis because it aims to examine the validity and reliability in data collective. So first step that I do to collect my data is, watch the movie. I watched it 3 times, and after that I'm adding, read the script, read the subtitles, because I really want to know more about this movie. What kind actually the moral concern that blew up in this movie, like that. So the technique of analyzing data, yeah, I watched the movie. I read the script. I read the synopsis. I read some articles. So that's helped me a little bit to collecting my data for my research. So from that, from my research, I know more about. Moral concern is a lot in our life. Like sometimes we didn't know what we do. Sometimes we didn't know what we said, and it actually goes to bad morals or moral concerns in our life. So I found that actually in Zootopia is really related to our life about the moral concern, like bullying, like underestimate other people, like that. So it's really related to our life. From this I learned to understanding other people, I respecting other people, like that. So I hope you, after read my research or watch this, you know more about moral concern, and you must be respect, be understand to other people, and not underestimate other people. So yeah, thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoy what I talking about. So yeah, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.